This is KORC, News, Music, and Civics. I'm Dan Kroll. Today, Sunday, February 8th, you may be itching for the kickoff time of Super Bowl 60. That's this afternoon at 3:30 p.m. Pacific Time. The event is taking place at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California, which is in the Bay Area. The Seattle Seahawks will square off against the New England Patriots. The halftime show will be headlined by popular Puerto Rican rapper and singer Bad Bunny. Perhaps you are like some good Americans who just can't stand the sound of the Spanish language. Or maybe you just bought into too much of the culture wars over the years, and you are still carrying the water for a movement that embraces notions like, young ladies, I like 'em underage, see? Some say that's statutory, but I say it's mandatory. If that's your guy, you are invited to an alternative halftime show today during the Super Bowl. Those lyrics I just quoted, those are actual lyrics of a song by aging musician and longtime cultural poser Kid Rock. He will be headlining an alternative halftime show today after recently declaring, "We plan to play great songs for folks who love America." Peak cringe was achieved on July 18th, 2024, when human illustration of stealing catalytic converters Kid Rock performed at the final night of the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee.
If you're ready for President Trump to take the stage, I need everybody to stand up. I need everybody to put a fist up in the air. Everybody, get a fist up in the air.
He sang a medley of some of his old hit songs, strangely alongside a Metallica hook from their song Sad But True.
Say fight, fight. Say fight, fight. Say fight, fight. Cause that somebody scream.
He changed words to instead sing praises for Trump.
Cowboy, I'm a singer of black. Throw a fist in the air, let me see where you at. Say fight, fight. Say Trump, Trump, Trump.
If you haven't seen the video, don't. This report provides only a glimpse of the horror within. If you choose to watch the entire video, just know that KORC and community airwaves are not responsible for the outcome, nor can we be held liable for possible catatonia that comes as a result of watching the video. Clad in a leather jacket, dorky black jeans, and a giant gold crucifix, human illustration of the spirit of stealing catalytic converters, Kid Rock, was dressed to the nines as the nearly all-white crowd sparsely swayed along and bobbed.
Yeah, pass that bottle around. Got the rock from Detroit, the soul from Motown, the underground.
The Beavis and Butthead-like dynasty duo, Eric and Don Jr., are seen bobbing along as Don Jr. raises his fist in solidarity with the greasy, on-stage performer who is raising his fist at the crowd, raising the glaring question of, must these posers try to hijack every symbol? The tragedy continues. The performer on stage uttered these sounds. A sparse and mostly white audience continued to bob and move their bodies in ways we are best not to imagine. At this moment in the performance, where peak cringe topped itself yet again, almost making the earth stand still in its own reaction to the embarrassment, Vice President J.D. Vance is seen headbanging. Picture, if you will, an overgrown Chucky doll wearing a tapered suit and red tie, standing next to his wife who visibly would rather be anywhere else. Picture a man who has never banged his head alongside music in his entire life. This still does not begin to describe the second-hand embarrassment you will feel for hapless headbanging J.D. Vance if you watch this fateful video. As we uncover our eyes, a natural trauma response to seeing this crowd of sunburned golf course grifters doing Macarena-style dances and occasional hippie throwback swaying next to their awkward, stuffy, and confused husbands, our own despair begins to set in. These same parents forbid their kids from listening to Kid Rock back in the 1990s, when the artist had a seeming spark of cool in his now jaded corpse of a performance that could only delight those who would rather be working on their grift, or perhaps, like most fans of Kid Rock, out stealing catalytic converters.
Let me see where you're at. Say Trump, Trump, Trump. Say Trump, Trump, Trump. Say Trump, Trump.
There were people awkwardly putting up with the music. There were also a few faces of meth in the audience. Many people in the audience just stare into their phones. Like most in this room, the has-been performer on stage has his own unique grift going on. In this case, performing in the name of political ideology with no artistic merit to be desired or found.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for the most patriotic American badass on earth.
To scale the level of cringe at this unfortunate night in Milwaukee, back in the summer of 2024, you may need to search for the video of Donald Trump supporters dancing along to and singing Rage Against the Machine's Killing in the Name. If you haven't seen that video, don't. That only pales in comparison to the level of cringe achieved this night at the 2024 Republican National Convention that can only be topped by this attempt at comedy by stage performer Kid Rock when he was on Saturday Night Live back in 2001.
The Olsen twins. Why is every guy in America waiting for these chicks to turn 18? I mean, you know what I say. If there's grass on the field, play ball!
Yes, today's Turning Point USA alternative halftime show featuring Kid Rock offers good, wholesome family values entertainment for Americans around the country. It offers Kid Rock's prime fan base a break from the usual routine of stealing catalytic converters.
Straight Detroit pimp with tracks to Mac and slap back to back. Never gain no pay at all.
Today, during the Super Bowl halftime, you can save yourself the cultural experience of straining to understand Spanish or putting up with the undoubted woke ideology of the Bad Bunny performance that is to come, and instead find the Kid Rock halftime show through Turning Point USA. As to how to tune in, hey, I'm still figuring out how to watch the Super Bowl live as it happens, and I might, for the first time ever, try the live TV button on the smart TV. Of course, if you ditch the Super Bowl altogether, you can still find interesting content here on your local community radio station, KORC, on the FM at 105.9 in Corvallis, streaming worldwide at KORCFM.com. For KORC News, Music, and Civics, I'm Dan Kroll.